Welcome to B&B Movie Reviews. This week, Paul Rudd sees the ugly side of the music industry, and Boots Riley returns to boost some clothes from a fashion maven.
And two young filmmakers are the talk of the town with their horror films that have all of Hollywood buzzing. Stay right there. B&B is coming up next.
See how to write a song about you, how to sing the words that ring true.
Should keep the how to write a song going every time.
How to write a song without you. 'Cause every song I ever wrote in my life, it's about you.
So good.
During a late-night jam session, Rick Power plays an old song for Danny that will soon become Danny's next big hit that will bring him back into the spotlight with Power Ballad, directed by John Carney. You see, Bryan, his name's Rick Power, and the film's called Power Ballad. Whoa.
I never knew.
Okay, Paul Rudd, you love him.
I love Paul Rudd. Yeah.
Do you love Paul Rudd in this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I do.
Okay.
Do I?
It's hard not to love Paul Rudd.
It really is.
You know, he's playing a wedding singer.
Yeah.
He's, a down on his luck guy.
Yeah.
He used to have dreams of stardom, of being in like a hair band.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Except this movie's not as funny. It's
No.
pretty serious, actually.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, Paul Rudd's character, he's always likable. I don't know if this particular character is always likable, especially with the back and forths and how he kind of, plays towards his bandmates in the wedding band that he's in. So sometimes especially like how he's always trying to get close with Danny, I think it's Danny Wilson.
Yeah, the Nick Jonas character.
The Nick Jonas character. But and then like his family dynamic. A lot of that really just doesn't really.
The daughter is so severe to him at times.
Yeah, and which is hard for this story because that plays a big part into who that character is and what motivates him to write the song that is ultimately kind of stolen from him. But when you see the dynamic with his family, you're like, oh, do you really?
Yeah. He made a choice when he's young. He committed himself to his family. Super admirable.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot. I kind of like the gimmick that launches the plot of this film. Nick Jonas hears this guy's song that he wrote for his daughter and goes like, oh, I can turn this into a love power ballad.
Yeah.
And then when we flash 6 months later, a year later,
Yeah.
and Paul Rudd's walking around the mall with his daughter, and he hears his own song on the radio, and it becomes a #1 hit. Like the rage and the confusion that floods into his brain as a result of that.
Yeah.
Like that's an engaging hook.
It is.
It just doesn't really amount to much.
And that's probably one of my biggest issues. I had actually, going back to thinking about the screening that we were in, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. And I think I laughed pretty frequently throughout this movie. I think it has a lot of situational comedy between the two characters, and then especially a lot of the stuff, but particularly with one of his bandmates that's really kind of always by his side.
I don't know. It felt so outdated to me.
Well,
that relationship does feel sitcom-y. It feels 90s sitcom.
And that's the thing, because I think a lot of the times it's like the comedy, we talked about this in the last episode with like Masters of the Universe, where I think it kind of undercuts the dramatic parts of the film.
I just don't think this movie knows what it is. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama?
Yeah. That's true too. That's true. Because when you get some of these really heartfelt conversations that Paul Rudd's character, Rick Power, is having, especially when he confronts Danny, then again, it gets undercut with some silly slapstick comedy, and then you're right. It's like it's almost like you're kind of going back and forth. It's like Whiplash. It's like, okay, what type of movie is this?
I just don't think there's enough meat on the bone. You know,
Yeah.
There's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the follow through of that idea. But in that follow through, there aren't really any interesting twists or turns, whether that's dramatically or comedically. It just goes right down the runway. And, you know, sometimes you're at home, you're doing laundry, maybe you're doing some ironing, maybe you're cooking your dinner. Yeah. This is the kind of movie you put on the background. But I'm in a theater, and I cannot recommend people to go to the theater to pay $20 a ticket to see Power Ballad.
And also, it's funny you say that because this movie feels like out of a traditional film that has a 3-act structure, this movie feels like it's only 2 acts. Like when the movie actually ended, I thought we were actually going into the second part, the second half of this movie. And I was like, the credits start rolling. I'm like, I remember turning to you and I'm like, wait, that's
the only reason I knew it was the end is because this movie was so insufferably long, Bryan. I knew we had to be wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I don't know. I think there was more to that story. I think you could have kind of cut a lot of stuff down in the first half of that film to really kind of see what happens when, you know, he confronts Danny, and then what happens on the back end as far as like, okay, is he going to get some residuals for this song? You know, how is he going to reconcile with his family? Is he going to be okay with having Danny own the rights to this song? Like, there were still questions I had about the movie when it ended, you know, but it just seemed like it just kind of just abruptly.
Like, to me, this movie either had to be a lot funnier or more inventive in its dramatic twists and turns. And as is, this is a film that I'm never going to think about again after this conversation.
That's true. Well, with that being said, what's your rating for this?
We're the B&B show. If we like a movie, if we love a movie, we give it a B+.
Yeah.
If we don't like that movie, if we despise that movie, we give it a B-.
Yeah.
I got to give Power Ballad a B-.
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I enjoyed watching the film, but it just left me kind of scratching my head.
Are you ever gonna watch it again?
No, I will never have a desire to watch this movie again. So with that being said, I can't really recommend this movie. So yeah, it's forgettable. It's a B-. So yeah, I mean, I like the actors. I like Nick Jonas. I like Paul Rudd. But yeah, B- for both of us. When we return, Boots Riley has a new film. I Love Boosters. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Every minute counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Call your local Poison Center at 1-800-222-1222.
Get me out of here. Hey. Get me out of here.
What's wrong? You talking in your sleep again?
Designer Christy Smith is giving it away.
Because your design didn't win?
Mine was too weird to win. When I'm designing, I feel like I'm touching the world. Christy Smith stole my design. Gotta get it back for that.
Is there a mistake with the checks?
Mine's is 38.
You're silencing me? Your dismissive language just shut down my very thoughtful explanation. Please read the sign.
Look, you hate Christy Smith. We hate Christy Smith. I have a plan. Together, we empty out every single Metro designer in the Bay Area. Grab them wigs.
Corvette and her crew scheme to take back what's rightfully theirs from fashion designer Christy Smith in Boots Riley's second feature film, I Love Boosters. All right, Brad, so Boots Riley, I mean, it's safe to say that we're a fan of his.
Sorry to Bother You was one of my favorite movies of the year it came out.
Yeah, 2018, Sorry to Bother You. I mean, he really kind of hit the scene with that movie and really made a statement for himself.
I love the politics of Boots Riley.
Yeah.
I love that he is trying to say something.
Yeah.
You know, I saw him speak with Danny Glover at the Angelica Film Center when Sorry to Bother You came out, and he was talking to the crowd about whether or not a film can change hearts and minds, right? And he said he wasn't sure if that was the case, but a movie could be a rallying cry for an audience to gather around.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of movies he makes. He makes rallying cries, and I Love Boosters is definitely a rallying cry.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that with this movie. I like how, like you were saying, making a rallying cry, but he also has a very distinctive visual style.
Well, he's an
and
absurdist.
tone. Yes, he really is. And this movie leans deeply into the absurd, maybe a little too deeply into the absurd.
I want to go with him. I really do.
Yeah.
But then some things happen with Lakeith Stanfield that I just can't figure out. And I need a roadmap to understand that character's role in this movie.
Lakeith Stanfield. I mean, he was there in Sorry to Bother You, the lead in Sorry to Bother You. So of course he brings him back in this role, in this movie.
What's his function here?
There's a lot in this movie I'm still trying to kind of understand,
which is
and
kind of
decipher.
exciting.
So I don't really
right?
know.
Like it's nice to come out of a movie and go like, okay, what did I just see?
Yeah.
I think when you leave this movie and the call to action that this film has at the very end, like let's strike. Like we have the power. We're the people.
Yeah.
Right. We have the power.
Yeah.
Those billionaires above us do not actually have the power. They got the money.
Yeah, they have the money.
But
do they have?
We can make change happen. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I just don't know about all the pieces, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But again, like I said, like that's kind of interesting to noodle on all that stuff.
Well, and I think that's the great thing about Boots Riley with his movies. It requires multiple watches, and I think it's a movie that on multiple watches you can pick up different things. Now, the first experience of watching this movie, I had a great time watching it. I love kind of, especially just the design. The production design is crazy.
The art direction.
The art direction, the production design is crazy in this movie. I mean, I like the monochromatic look of like all the different designer stores that Christy Smith owns, and then the characters, and like going to the absurd nature of it, like how these actors take these characters
and also
really lean into. Really love the score.
The score is really fun.
Yeah, I really like that score a lot. And then going to the three main leads, when you talk about Taylor Page, Keke Palmer, and Naomi Ackie, I think that they work really, really well together.
I will watch any movie with Keke Palmer.
She's great.
She can do no wrong.
Really, she can do no wrong.
Like every time she's in the frame, you are engaged and you're having a good time.
Yeah. She's one of those type of actors that just has like this magnetic quality about like just seeing her presence on screen. And I could just watch her in anything.
I also really like Demi Moore as the villain.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, this moment that Demi Moore is having post-Substance, like let's keep this going.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Like I like this psychotic energy her character has, but I also like the backstory that they gave that character. I feel like Boots Riley does apply a lot of empathy towards this villain too. That's interesting.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's not sympathy.
I enjoy the first 2/3 of this movie. I think even though it really goes to some wild places, especially when they introduce another character and certain other kind of zany science fiction ideas into it. I'm still kind of following, like I'm still riding that wave. I'm like, okay, Boots Riley, I'm still with you. But then we kind of get to the third act, and then it goes, just like with Sorry to Bother You, he takes it to a whole different place. And you're like, okay, it's almost like he's putting a hat on top of a hat on top of a hat. And it's just like, okay, I'm with you, but you're starting to like,
and that's kind of what you want
from
from Boots Riley based off of our enthusiasm of Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
I just feel like at the end of the day, I was more emotionally engaged with those characters in that film than I was with these characters in this film. I appreciated this movie a lot more than I loved this movie or even understood this movie.
Yeah.
I could see myself falling in love with I Love Boosters after a few watches, and I am compelled to watch it more.
That's the thing too. Yeah, if it compels you to kind of watch it, because I want to go back for a rewatch of this as well, and I think I will like it a lot better on a second viewing. But yeah, I like his energy. He's very distinctive. When we talk about signature directors, when you see a Boots Riley movie,
when you see a Boots Riley trailer, you know that's a Boots Riley movie.
Yes.
When you see a frame from Boots Riley's films, you know that's a Boots Riley movie.
And I like directors like that. And it's always going to keep me coming back, whatever they decide to do, whether I'm kind of on the fence about, the film itself. But he just, I don't know, he inspires me as a filmmaker to just keep watching whatever he's going to end up doing. What's your rating for this?
So while I was searching for that emotional core,
Yeah.
I felt my enthusiasm for the movie dip a little bit, but in recalling it in my memory, it's like I still have to give it a B+. The audacity of this film.
That's it. Yeah. I like what you just said. Yeah, the audacity of it, I think really kind of works. And I think that's kind of what drew me in with it as well. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a B+ as well. It's a movie I've been thinking about, and a movie I am like really desire to rewatch again when it comes out.
And not everybody's gonna like it, but those that like it are gonna probably love it eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Possibly. Possibly. Yeah, fingers crossed, hopefully. All right, so those are our thoughts on I Love Boosters. When we return, a 20-year-old YouTuber has made a very, very, very successful horror movie. We'll be right back. Stay right there.
Today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. A victory that is there for the taking. Grab it.
Now that was a great halftime speech. Let's go win.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Clark discovers a portal to a hidden space or possibly another dimension in the psychological horror film Backrooms from 20-year-old YouTuber Kane Parsons. Bryan, 20 years old?
What were you doing at 20?
Not making a movie as good as this one, I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all. I wish.
Yeah,
I
Backrooms,
wish.
Bryan.
Yeah.
Give me your immediate reaction walking out of this film.
That's it's interesting you say that. So I liked the movie, but I was like, I just don't know how I felt about the ending, or it left me just kind of, I don't want to say cold. I don't know what the right word is. But with that being said, it's a movie that has stayed with me since I saw it. And I've been kind of like, so many theories that I have about what the Backrooms are, what it means, and there's something that I really kind of like about that I haven't heard a lot of critics talk about as far as like the visual representation of Backrooms and what that might mean as far as like dealing with mental illness or dealing with like how the brain is kind of broken and how these rooms are kind of,
and all of these characters in this movie are suffering from some sort of trauma. They're struggling through life, and then they are placed in a situation that may or may not mirror their emotional experience.
Yeah. What were some of your thoughts coming into this, going into
so
this
like
movie?
for me, I can fall in love with the film for a whole bunch of reasons. I can fall in love with the film because of the story, the narrative, the actual plot. I can fall in love with the film for the characters, what they're going through, what they represent. I can fall in love with the film for its themes and messaging. I can fall in love with the film because of its style, its aesthetic. I can fall in love with the film for its invention. And this movie, when I'm watching it, I'm going, how are they pulling this off? And there is so much excitement in watching a 20-year-old YouTuber do things that, 50-year-old millionaires can't pull off, right? And I was electric watching this film.
I like the idea of how it feels very nightmarish. Like this feels like nightmare fuel. Like when you think about, I also compared it to something like Dreams. And they had mentioned a little bit about this in the movie as far as like memories and dreams and how we misremember things. And that's why everything kind of feels a little bit off in this movie or in the Backrooms and some of the different entities that he encounters.
What's happening in these Backrooms? Are you affecting the Backrooms? Are the Backrooms affecting you? Is a little bit of both. I like that. I like the final third, I've seen people go like, oh, I don't know about that. Maybe you fall in that category a little bit.
I was thinking about that. I think in my initial watch, I was thinking that, okay, yeah, I don't know how I feel about the third act of this movie, but that's the one that's really been staying with me, specifically the final shot. But there's the climax of the movie, because a lot of times it also feels like when we get to that ending, especially with the character of Mark Duplass, it feels like it's trying to over-explain what the back rooms are.
Yeah,
but then it kind of pulls that back.
I don't know if it ever goes into the category of over-explain. I feel like they give you enough weird science fiction for you to hang the concept on.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I sort of felt like we had stumbled into a Dharma station in the TV show Lost a little bit. I can imagine back rooms existing within that universe.
Yeah.
And that ultimately worked for me.
Okay. What's your rating for this?
I really, really enjoyed it. I was surprised by how much fun I had while I was watching it, and how much fun I've had thinking about it once it concluded. It's definitely a B+ for me.
Yeah, I think this is I know this is a B+ for me. It's a movie that I've definitely been thinking about since I saw it. I like the idea of what the back rooms represent, and I like some of the different theories and where this movie ultimately goes. I thought Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Reinsve, I thought they were great with their characters and their characterizations and who their characters were, and how, like you say, their traumas affected, how the back rooms was kind of represented for them in the movie. There's a lot to really kind of chew on in this, so I really enjoy this. So yeah, this is a B+ for me as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, so those are our thoughts on back rooms. When we come back, another horror film from a young filmmaker, Obsession. We'll be right back. Stay there. All right.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing the blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
Nikki,
Yeah?
does your dad really have cancer?
No. No.
What?
No. Don't do that! I thought we were having a nice day.
We are. Sit
Why
down.
does it matter? I thought we were having a nice
We are.
day.
We are.
Bear and Nikki are out on a quiet date in a public restaurant when Bear decides to confront Nikki about a little white lie that quickly gets out of hand in the horror film Obsession. All right, Brad.
Yes.
This movie has been taking Hollywood by storm.
Yes.
Never seen something like this before. It's been a while that we've seen a movie kind of go up in the box office. So that means that it's resonating with a lot of people.
The second box office bigger, the third box office bigger.
Yeah.
That's a rare event.
It's a very rare, very
It's made
rare
like
event.
100 times its budget.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah, especially like for movie theaters. So yeah, Obsession. I've really been taken by this movie where I just love the idea of the wishing wand.
The wishing willow.
Willow.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of like be careful for what you wish for.
It's a simple premise, right?
It's a very, very simple premise.
You're lusting after this person.
Yeah.
You're like, why won't they respond to my affections?
Yeah.
Don't they know how much I love them? And then you get this little device and you crack it and you go like, I just want Nikki to love me more than anyone else in the world. And what does that mean? How does that play out, especially within the genre of horror? It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good at all. It's not going to be good at all. I do like the setup of this movie, and one thing I was worried about is the fact that we wouldn't establish Nikki as a character. And we get a little bit of that before he actually makes the wish. And we get to kind of know a little bit about her.
We get to see that person disappear after the wish.
Yes.
Because what I like about the mythology of this story is it seems to me that there's something now inside Nikki, and Nikki has been pushed into a shadow realm.
Yeah.
And there's like these little moments where Nikki pops out.
Yeah.
And That's so upsetting.
And that's the thing that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. And when I saw it at a press screening, and there was one specific scene where they're sleeping at night, and then Bear gets up, and you hear like Nikki kind of talking in her sleep. And I don't want to give too much away. But it seems like everybody has seen this movie. But it reminded me of Get Out, where you talk about something like the sunken place, where it's almost like she is a passenger in her own body.
Yeah, a prisoner in her own body, not a passenger, right?
Yeah.
And I think when the movie is just focusing on those details, it's really, really strong. I do think that whatever is inside Nikki, controlling Nikki, when it does things that I would call horror movie, what? The film doesn't work. Like there's this whole bit with the cat, all right? You know, if you don't like seeing animals harmed, don't go watch Obsession.
Yeah, no trigger warning.
There is a dead cat in this movie.
Yeah.
And then that dead cat continues to come up.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And there's like a sandwich sequence.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And to me, it was distracting from the genuine horror, the abomination at the core of this film, which is about possession and incel behavior, and, you know, toxic dude stuff.
Yeah.
Like that is where the movie thrives.
Yeah.
The horror movie, what? Doesn't work.
And that's the thing too, and that's why I like having the conversation around this movie, because when he makes that wish, we really kind of position Nikki more as kind of being the antagonist, or I guess like this, like within the terms of like a slasher movie, she becomes like the slasher in this that Bear is really trying to
but
escape.
Also being the victim of the main victim of the story.
The victim,
and the final sequence of this film is so upsetting.
Yeah.
This is not a good time horror movie. Like this is not Friday the 13th. It is not a slasher film.
No.
It's a bummer.
No, it is, but I say that because I think this is more of an indictment on the character of Bear than it is of Nikki, you know. So, and I was wondering to myself watching this, okay, how is this movie going to end? Where are we going to leave these characters? And not to give anything away, I think where the movie ends, you're right, it is a bummer, but as far as like what happens to these characters or where they end up, I think that I like how this movie kind of
I feel like it's a logical conclusion.
Yeah.
I do think this is the ending I thought this movie was going to have from the moment he made the wish.
Okay.
So it didn't deliver on a surprise. That being said, I don't know if I necessarily needed a surprise as much as I needed a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Again, that satisfying ending, though, is a real sad time.
It is a sad time. I do want to talk a little bit before we get out of this segment about the actress in the Navarrete. She's a newcomer. I think she was on a show like the Superman and Lois show or something like that.
She was.
Yeah. But she's a newcomer, and a lot of people have been talking about her performance. And even when I saw it at the press screening, it again kind of blew me away. I know I talked about Emily Blunt in the last episode. I really do think that there's some serious consideration about Oscar talk with her.
I like this Oscar talk more than the Emily Blunt Oscar
I know.
talk.
That was it. Well, let's forget about that one.
Okay.
I was a little hyped, but whatever. But with her, she does things in this movie in the way that she has to switch on a dime, her emotions, her attitude.
The script puts her through the grinder.
It does.
Right.
It does.
And she comes out of it, well, ground up, but it's impressive.
Yeah, it's an impressive performance. I think an impressive physical performance. She just really kind of I don't want to say shocked me but I've never seen
the movie
her before.
is shocking.
Yeah.
You know, I had to watch a lot of this like that.
Yeah, and I like that it doesn't require a lot of jump scares, although it has one major jump scare that I think is really effective.
It's got a jump scare.
Yeah, what's your rating for this?
I enjoyed this film. It's interesting to review it right after reviewing Backrooms. I think Backrooms is more my jam.
Okay.
But Obsession was extremely impressive.
Yeah.
And I have to give it a B+.
Yeah. This this was my favorite movie of the year until the movie that we talked about on the last episode, but definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. I just think it's really just a new voice. To me, it feels like it's a new voice in horror.
Yeah. Curry Barker. Watch that name.
Yeah, watch that name, Curry Barker. And I just loved just the way he was able to kind of just build the tension and the suspense with the horror in this movie. So yeah, this is a B+ for me. easily. So, yeah, those are our thoughts on Obsession. Let's go back and review the movies we had talked about on this episode. We started with Power Ballad. We gave that a B- for both of us, if I can remember. Yes, we did. Then we go over to I Love Boosters. We gave that a B+ for both of us. Then we go to Backrooms, the new film from 20-year-old filmmaker Kane Parsons. That was a B+ for both of us. And Obsession, the movie that's taken Hollywood by storm. That was also a B+ for both of us. All right, so thank you for joining us on this latest episode of B&B Movie Reviews. Come be a part of the conversation. If you have questions, suggestions, feel free to email us at bnbmoviereviews@gmail.com. And with that, we'll see you at the movies.